Hi guys, what's going on? Today I'd like to talk about inference. Specifically, oh wait a second, why do you have to look at this? Yeah, maybe it's better, right? So today I would like to talk about inference in the sense that the distinction between local inference and cloud-based inference, as in the inference coming from the providers such as Anthropic, OpenAI, etc., etc. So there's this kind of trend right now that a few people are advocating for going local first, like very, very hard, depicting like almost apocalyptic scenarios in which if you don't have compute locally, you're basically never gonna make it. I get it. I totally get it. I am kind of on that bandwagon too. Always have been into this self-sufficiency bandwagon. I like to be unfuckwithable, so to say, as much as I can. And yeah, definitely inference is becoming more and more important and more entrenched in our lives, especially if you are into tech and stuff like that. But even with no offense, normies will be more and more entrenched with it, because just look at the trends. Think about this open claw thing that one day it's going to become a product that everyone can have at their disposal, and that will cause some form of dependency on inference, because obviously people are going to rely on it a lot. It's going to become literally definitely more important than a Netflix subscription, right? Because you're gonna let it run your life, like your appointments, your client meetings, your correspondence with friends. I don't know, the sky is the limit. Your finances, people are gonna come up with all sorts of ridiculous things, right? So yeah, I mean, we are going towards a world that is very, very weird. So there's this thing now that is part of our lives, and there are a few companies that control it. And yeah, that sounds very scary, because these companies tomorrow could wake up and say, sorry, we need to double up the prices because these are not sustainable, whatever, or there has been this micro event that caused prices of, I don't know, electricity to triple, so obviously we need to adjust our policies. Everything can happen, anything can happen. And you could see already some cracks in the system, in the sense that if you consider a few of these things that I'm gonna show you here on screen, imagine you have a Claude Max subscription, and then you buy another one, so you're paying Anthropic $200 a month, and then you have another one, and they ban you, they cancel your account, simply because I believe that these subscriptions are very highly subsidized right now. They're like trying to hook us up on this thing, on inference. They want us to be dependent on it, and once we are like let's say entrenched in that ecosystem, they can do whatever they want with us. And also, let's not forget, at the same time we are providing training data, but that's another story. So yeah, anything can happen. They can jack up prices. They could cancel your subscription, and they could go bankrupt. Is it possible? Yeah, I think anything is possible. I've seen weirder things in life, so definitely it can happen. What else? Yeah, they can cancel your account, or maybe a new provider comes to market and you want to switch. Is that a risk? No, it's just a change. But what if, for example, and I'm talking about, like, imagine Anthropic offered you a plan that you couldn't cancel. It's like you pay up front for like a year of Inference, and you pay like, I don't know, $5,000. I'm just saying something absurd, because things could get absurd. So you pay this $5,000, and then there's a new competitor model that is like, quality is just insane, or maybe it's way faster, something like that, something crazy that makes you reconsider everything. So what do? Well, obviously you are locked in. You either lose or you just stay with them, you know. So it's a very weird situation where anything can change any minute, and therefore, you know, having something local that you can manage, that you can switch and stuff like that, it's a very compelling idea. But we are still like very, very, very early. So early that definitely it's incredibly expensive to run efficiently and productively anything local, unless your investment is literally like in the order of like, I don't know, 50k. So yeah, of course things will get better. Hardware will get more powerful, prices will get lower. Right now everything and everyone is getting squeezed. This is my feeling about lots of things, and the same is happening with these things, hardware. I had to buy a few things lately, and yeah, you can feel it, and I'm sure it's related to the, you know, the data center build up, the capex boom and stuff like that. Sure, but it's part of the same reason. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some posts here. For example, there's this guy Alex Finn that is literally saying, if you don't have local agents working 24/7 for you, you're never gonna make it. I get what he means, but also I don't, because yeah, of course it depends, but what are you shipping? You know, what is this thing that you're shipping constantly? I think that his framing is like, oh, I have these agents that go on Reddit, on Twitter, and they scan for you know, inefficiencies, users complaining about something, and then I'm gonna build a product while I sleep. They're gonna build a product for me, and I'm just gonna get the notifications for Stripe. You know, sure, maybe not. What if all the comments that you're reading are AI generated? You know, is this like a real user pain, or it's just slop? So you're building slop for slop? I know it's very silly to say these things, because you know the proof is gonna be in the pudding anyway. I'm happy for this guy that can right now, as we speak, throw this kind of money on these things. He's betting on it. I'm not doing it, at least not yet. I want to see some changes in the way LLMs work. I would like to see some form of TPUs on the consumer side, something that right now is like, I suppose only Google had that kind of tech. I would like to see something that comes into the consumer market that is way more efficient, way faster, and potentially cheaper. Then I suppose local only would be definitely a very strong choice. But yeah, of course, being first is not necessarily the worst thing to do, because if I look at the past, what happened to me in my life, I was the first one to have an internet connection in my village. It paid dividends because actually I was there first. I learned first a few things. It gave me some form of leverage with my peers. also, like, I don't know, English, for example. I was very good at English in school because I was exposed to it. Nothing on the internet was in Italian, obviously. So it was very easy and very compelling to me to go there and just learn by reading and doing stuff. And I guess it also helped in the future because that was kind of like one of the stepping stones that made me move to another country, to England. So yeah, these things can have a big impact on your life. Then if I think about CD burners, I had an HP CD burner that was very expensive, but again, it gave me some form of leverage with a few things that I'm not gonna get into, and other things like, I don't know, printers and stuff like that. Similar, right? Wait, let me go here. Maybe it's better. Today, because I hurt my knee, sadly. It's the second or third time in the span of 2-3 months that I have this pain on my right knee, and I'm gonna go get it checked. But I suppose it's a matter of not warming up properly and just go, and also running a lot. I'm running a lot, and I'm not probably doing enough strength training. Anyway, parentheses aside, I still enjoy going out early in the morning. I love the seaside, and I will enjoy it as much as I can. So back to Inference. So local only or cloud, or Claude, I should say. Well, I think things are gonna change in terms of pricing. I think it's very likely that Anthropic is gonna jack up prices, and probably it's gonna happen soon. Maybe they will release something new, something very strong, and then after people signed up for it, maybe it's gonna have some form of it's gonna create some friction for cancellation, and then they're gonna jack up prices. I don't know, they have to be creative because things are getting they are eating up a lot, because the open source models are becoming better and better, and they can only get better. I mean, I've been using GLM-5 and the Kimi 2.5, and I have to say the results are good. Obviously, yeah, there are some models that are better at something. It also depends on what you're feeding them, so it's really hard to say I'm gonna use just one. I think that for my workflows, having a couple of these subscriptions, and I'm talking about the low tiers, not like the max ones, that you juggle between, it's probably a good choice. Also because it gives you some diversity in terms of the way they are built. You know, you have one model building things, another one checking on the work of the other one, and you create some sort of randomness also in your process, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's like having multiple people with different backgrounds working on your project, and they're gonna give you some inputs, different inputs, that I think overall, if you have good systems to ensure quality, can provide a lot of value, instead of maybe having just one very strong model that does everything, you know. yeah, sometimes diversity can be good. I'm joking, obviously. Don't get all like enraged. Don't call the police on me.
Police! Hands in your head! Do it!
I'm talking about the Karens in the house, which I believe are not. There are none. Anyway, so the point of this discussion was simply to say that yeah, I believe in local. I will host my models and my inference locally, 100%. I will do it in a sustainable way, as in the electricity that I'm gonna use is gonna be sourced from solar. I'm gonna be independent energy-wise. The water that I'm gonna need is gonna also be sourced in a way that is consistent. So I will probably harvest rainwater. I'm gonna weld, something like that. And then, of course, the hardware. I'm gonna try to be smart as much as I can. I'm gonna try not to buy stuff like right now. Maybe I'm gonna chip in a little bit. Maybe one Mac Studio, maybe two. But that's it. I'm not gonna go overboard. I'm not gonna go crazy with that. I just want something usable, because you never know. And then I'll just watch, you know, because tech will improve, prices will go lower, and I will upgrade as I go, like I always did since I had my first computer. And hardware that I bought that was super expensive and stuff, yeah, that's the cost of doing business. What you gotta do, you know, like it's unavoidable. If you wanna be bleeding edge, you need to bleed a little bit, right? And yeah, let's see how it goes with these AI studios, with Anthropics and the OpenAIs. I don't know. One thing that is not completely far-fetched is the fact that they could go all bankrupt and their IP would be just made like public domain or something like that. I know it's probably not gonna happen because, you know, like you can call national security or whatever. But who knows, you know? Just think about OpenAI, how it was funded. You know, so much for being open, right? What if one way or another the vision becomes reality after the fact? You know, after all the corruption that we have everywhere now in society gets eradicated. I know I'm dreaming. Let me dream a little bit, right? If we get rid of corruption and we look at things at face value, maybe, you know, something weird like this could happen. All of a sudden you have like an Opus 4.6 running locally. I mean, one day obviously you're gonna have definitely a level of power running locally from other providers. And I'm talking about something that is open, it gets to the level of quality, which could happen like next week. You know, it could happen anytime. You could have a DeepSeek coming up with something that again revolutionizes everything. You could have like a random shop from, I don't know, France or anywhere else, from the UK or US again, or China, just coming up with could be like even like a simple optimization that changes the game completely. It's just the nature of tech. It's inevitable, and changes are always around the corner. And the cool thing is that these changes are always they always compound. They're stuck on top of each other, and that can only be good, I suppose. I want to suppose, for humanity, right? Of course, we are not curing cancer yet. Maybe we are discovering proteins. Maybe we are accelerating some experiments. I want to believe that also, apart from the stupid videos with the women with big boobs and the fake movies being generated, I want to believe that also some very, very good stuff is being created or is being like accelerated. And I'm talking about in the realms of math, physics, science in general, because these are the catalysts for human progress, and if we improve in these things, we are definitely going to be better off. So yeah, this is what I had to say about local or cloud-based inference. Let's just try to be moderate a little bit, not go full crazy, not base your own business on something that is not sustainable. But I guess we do that as humans all the time. We FOMO into things. We are living through elevated FOMO environments right now in all sorts of areas. So yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna end up. We'll see. Well, I'll speak to you guys later. Have a nice day. Take care.